You see, I've finished my book. Well, second draft. And it looks just about exactly the same as the first draft because I'm crap at editing. Why don't we listen to some music? Alright then, press and play. It's called Mind Colours by Beaumont Hannant. And if we're not on the same page, we can at least be on the same vibe. You see, I thought this already. I came up with this originally in previous recording. But when you actually come up with it live, it's really rather smooth. Because there's an accident, Mind Colours. It's on Party Shuffle. Mind Colours. People are still hung up about colour of the skin. And if we keep on talking about the colour of the skin and making that the agenda, then... Whereas I'm more interested in the colour of our minds. The chroma, the hue, the brightness. Because we're all different. And yet, in many ways similar. Anyway, I was going to invite you to take part. Because when I return, I'm going to go back to square one. And I'm crap at finding agents, so I'm going to self-publish, and I was thinking of producing an audiobook, and that means why don't I invite people to read out sections. There are 73 sections, give me 2 digits, and you just record your bit. Could be good, could be fun. However, to try and introduce this, how do I introduce this? The introduction. And the introductions, I miss out books, because usually they're dull. Although the older I get, the better I am at appreciating what an introduction is. Okay. So I'll read out the introduction to this, and if you're interested, fine. If you're not, well, you wouldn't be looking at this, would you? The book is called Failing the System, and the subtitle is By Inspiring Change. Again, we don't spend a huge amount of time on titles. I think titles are actually very important. But we're so kind of like bombarded by titles, like in newspapers, that we don't actually pay attention to what a title is. Failing the system. There's at least 2 ways of understanding that. By inspiring change, which is kind of one of the directions. Many children entering the educational system as bright and alert and enthusiastic learners leave as disheartened and subdued adults. There is a sense of failure in terms of exam results, or personal confidence, or social respect and comfort. Can this be turned around? Can we fail the system? Can we diagnose its faults accurately and prescribe a healthier alternative? Can the adults who leave be as enthusiastic and full of life as they entered as children, confident in their skills, in their being, to the extent of being comfortable in society at large? The ideas in this book propose just that. Such a change will take some doing, and, as we shall see, most of that will be from the children themselves. It is the alterations in them as they become adults, as their self-awareness develops, that may inspire such change. Teachers must be responsive to such radical change, and through this difficult time, parents can offer their support for the development, for the betterment of the educational system as a whole, for all children, for our society, and for the condition of the world, as well as for their own children. All the ideas presented in this book are rooted in day-to-day teaching experience. First-person descriptions report as accurately as possible my experiences. These are arranged under headings with short theoretical explanations. The readers may occasionally observe a disjunction between the heading, its theoretical explanation, and the specific learning experience which is intended to illustrate it. This is intentional. The nature of much of the work in teaching is subliminal and very difficult to isolate and categorize. As a result, as a solution to this, headings are mostly grouped in threes, and the combined explanations and descriptions hopefully delimit the principles. It may be useful for the reader to bear this in mind, and to read each set of 3 in one sitting. This book is primarily for parents, concerned about the future of their children, and the difficult time ahead as their children grow into adults, and at the same time concern for the state of the world in which they invite their children. The subject matter of this book cannot be contained in words or packaged easily in concepts. The subjects are real people, adults to be, each one unique, a living, breathing son or daughter brought into the world. Do not objectify the accounts here or impersonalize them. Consider them as experiences your children may experience. Children today are not the children we were. The world has changed much in 20 years, not only technologically but socially. It is a mistake to think of school as being like the institution we were educated in when we were children. Today, it is a much more volatile place. It is the objective of this book to offer a more stable, sustainable, and respectful environment for our children, and their children in turn. One of my favourite experiences, and the central idea and mechanism for inducing the change much needed in education today, is described in number 42, a number reached entirely fortuitously during the writing of this book. This exemplifies my style of writing, thinking, and indeed engaging with people, adults or children. It is all rather amusing. Actually, I want to edit something in there. It is a mistake to think of school as being like the institution in which we were educated. In which we were educated when we were children. Yeah. There's another thing I tried to change while I was reading it. And at the same time, concern for the state of the world they have invited their children into. And the state of the world they have invited, state of the world into which they have invited their children. Into which they have invited the children. So if you want to edit while you're reading, that's fantastic. You got the title, you got the intellectual blurb, you got the direct real experience. And if this stimulates a thought in you, a memory or education or anything like that, verbalize it. I think that would be really cool. I think it would be really cool if you could download something like that. Lots of voices, like a choir, and all individual and unique, and yet sharing something. So, give me 2 digits, 3 sections. If you choose a fairly low third, that will be the elements of education. Middle numbers, a practical ideal. And third, if you choose higher numbers, approaching the top number is 73, remember, global ramifications. Okay? This could be a very interesting project. I'd love to hear what people say. And I don't think, from what I understand, the subscribers that I've got on the Happy Sea Urchin, I don't think people are really that interested in being critical. Actually, there is one subscriber I know. I have no idea why I got in contact with the guy. The guy made an incredibly rude comment on another website, but it was actually really funny. So I commented on it, and I tried to give him some positive encouragement on his channel. And I said it was actually really funny. And then the guy wrote some rude comments on my channel. And then he subscribed. So, I'd love for him to record a section of this book. I love that, actually. Anyway, okay, that's enough. 2020 world peace.